Deals. And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here.
What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another baseball video. I am so excited to bring you today's content because when I was in college, I sometimes would miss taking notes because I was on Baseball Reference looking at baseball stats and baseball history, so I'm super hyped up to make today's video. I got this idea because if you guys don't know, or if you live under a rock, I'm not sure how you guys don't know this news if you are a fan of baseball, but Bryce Harper just signed a 13-year, $330 million deal, which is a new record for baseball and sports history in terms of like the largest deal ever. So Bryce Harper is breaking records. But what we're going to be talking about today is baseball records that will never be broken. And if they are going to be broken, we're going to talk about the players that do have a chance. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you chime in the comment section down below, slap a like on this video, and if you don't subscribe, I'll snap my fingers. Alright, so the way that this is going to work is we're going to talk about some records that you guys are for sure aware of, and then we're going to kind of bounce around to records that you may have never heard of before. So the first one that we're going to talk about, I just think that this is pretty funny because there's a lot of different things to talk about with this one stat, is Tony MULLANE. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. He has the record for most wild pitches in his career with 343. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is that's a lot of wild pitches, but not only is MULLANE the holder of that record, he also is the first documented ambidextrous pitcher. I think I said that right. Or is it amphibious? He's the first amphibious pitcher. I'm totally kidding. I know it's ambidextrous. So if you guys don't know what that means, just think Pat Venditti. He is one of the pitchers, or used to be a pitcher for the Oakland A's. He could throw with both his left hand and his right hand. So I thought this was a fun little record to bring up first. Now let's get into some actual records that you guys have heard of before. So the first one that we have to talk about is the 56-game hitting streak from Joe DiMaggio. I don't think this is ever going to be broken. I mean, we've had Derek Jeter in the league, Ichiro, we've had so many contact hitters, Jose Altuve, and they haven't even sniffed this record. So I think Joe DiMaggio, if you guys have an idea of who might be able to beat this record, let me know in the comment section down below. And also for any of the other records that we're going to be talking about, let me know as well, because I think this record is safe and so on. I think that we can put it to bed. The history of baseball is set in stone, at least in terms of this record. Never going to get beat, at least in my opinion. Pete Rose with his 4,256 base hits. Again, just like we talked about before with Joe DiMaggio, I think that this record is safe and sound. A lot of people like to put Ichiro in this category. Now, I will say if Ichiro played in professional baseball in America for his entire career, he probably would have had a chance at this record, but we're talking about Major League Baseball stats. So we're not going to include Ichiro playing in Japan, although they are pretty much the same player if you think about hits-wise. I think that it will stand the rest of history. The only player that I can say has a shot is Jose Altuve because he has 1,500 base hits. I mean, he's 28 years old, so if he continues to play, Pete Rose played until he was like 75 years old. I think he's still playing baseball. That's a joke. But in my opinion, I think that Jose Altuve is the only man that can beat it at this point because in his first couple seasons, he had 200 base hits, 200. I think he had 4 straight seasons with 200 base hits. But if it wasn't Ichiro, if it's not Jose Altuve, I don't think this record is ever going to be broken. What do you guys think? Oh boy, another record that is probably never going to be beaten, hence the title, Unbreakable Record. So Rickey Henderson, if you guys don't know who that is, I'm going to show some highlights while I'm talking right now, but he has 1,406 stolen bases. Again, I don't know how he was able to steal so many bags. If I take a look at his stats right now, there are seasons where he had 100 or more stolen bases a couple different times. Billy Hamilton, the fastest man in baseball, or even Byron Buxton, those guys are officially the fastest guys in baseball, or at least top 10, and they haven't even smelt 70 stolen bases. There's no way that 1,406 stolen bases is going to be beat in the history of the next 100 years, 200 years. I don't care how far humans progress as a species, if we get faster. I mean, the only way that this record is getting broken is if the Yankees sign Usain Bolt to a 10-year contract specifically as a pinch runner. This is not going to get broken. And the reason why I say this is unbreakable is because with the 1,406 stolen bases, you would think that the number 2 guy, Lou Brock, because Lou Brock was incredibly fast as well. Maybe he would have 100 less stolen bases, 50 less stolen bases because they were both about the same speed. No. Lou Brock had 938 stolen bases. That's almost 500 less. 500 less than the next guy, number 1 spot, Rickey Henderson. There will never be a player in the history of baseball going forward for the rest of history that will steal as many bags as Rickey Henderson. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Billy Hamilton, Byron Buxton, not happening. Alright guys, so what we just did is we talked about 3 records that I'm sure that you are familiar with. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick it back to kind of a fun record because I did not know that this was a record until I started making this video. But a man named Charles Oldhouse, what's his full name? Charles Old Hoss Radbourn had 59 wins in a single season. The Orioles had 47 wins in 2018. So yes, Charles Old Hoss Radbourn had more wins in a single season with 59 than the Orioles had as a team. This was back in 1884. Old Hoss threw 678 and 2/3 innings over 75 appearances, and despite an arm so sore that he could barely lift it above his shoulder, nearly every one of them is great. He finished the year with 11 shutouts, a 1.38 ERA, and a jaw-dropping 59-12 record. So, man, Charles Old Hoss, holy smokes. This record's never going to be broken. I'm sorry. It's never going to. 59 wins by a single pitcher? That's stupid. So speaking of pitchers, I think the only other player that I can think in my mind that reminds me of Charles Old Hoss Radbourn is our man Cy Young, who is officially going to be in MLB The Show 19. So if you guys are a Cy Young fan, make sure you guys pick up that game. But he has the most career wins and the most career losses by any pitcher in Major League Baseball history, and his win total is 511. How is anyone ever going to top that? I mean, we think of pitchers that are really good in today's game like Clayton Kershaw, there's Jacob deGrom, there's so many pitchers that are on top of the baseball world right now. They won't even sniff 400 wins. I guarantee you it's going to be tough for all of these guys to even sniff 300 wins. So to try and get to 511, I don't think there's any player going forward, whether it's current players or prospects or even people that are not even born yet, that are going to sniff at this. So 511 career wins courtesy of Cy Young. That is a record that will never be broken. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the same thing, or do you think there's a prospect that's going to be born in 2072 that might break it? I don't know. I think it's unbreakable. Cal Ripken Jr. played an amazing 2,632 games, which is just, I played baseball. I was a high school player. I didn't play college or anything like that, but there were instances where I had a migraine, my back was a little hurt, maybe I had a bulging disc or a pinched nerves, or maybe my hamstrings were hurting or my arm was hurting a little bit, so I had to take a break. This man played in over 2,000 games straight and did not complain about it whatsoever. Not only did he play in that many games straight, Cal Ripken Jr. was also one of the most productive shortstops in the history of baseball. So not only was he durable, he was productive, he was a gentleman. Cal Ripken is one of my favorite players of all time, as well as my mom's favorite player. So I think that this record, again, it's one of those things that it's only going to happen once in history. Before Cal Ripken Jr., we had Lou Gehrig, so I think that's pretty good company. When you have Cal Ripken Jr. and Lou Gehrig in the same category, if anyone else is ever going to break that, that is going to be a milestone and a half, because again, all of these records that we're talking about, in my opinion, they will never be broken. They won't even get sniffed. I gotta stop saying the word sniff. I'll PayPal you guys $1 if I say the word sniff one more time. That doesn't count. So the next record is going to be very interesting, because there might actually be a player who is currently playing that has a shot at beating this. So Mariano Rivera retired a couple years ago. He was a closer for the New York Yankees. He has the record for most career saves with 652. But get this, Mariano Rivera did not get his first kind of season under his belt until he was 27 years old. From 27 to 30 years old, Mariano Rivera had 160 saves, which is still amazing. Mariano Rivera was dominant. The player that I'm about to talk about, I am not saying that he is better than Rivera, but Craig Kimbrel, by the time that he turned 30, so again, Mariano had 160 saves by the time that he was 30. Craig Kimbrel has 332 saves by turning 30 years old. So that is an insane difference. Again, Mariano Rivera got better as he aged. His cutter was the most dominant pitch in baseball history, at least in terms of my opinion. So if Craig Kimbrel can stay healthy, I think that he is the only player, aside from maybe the home run total that we'll talk about in just a second. Now again, this is going to play completely on his health, whether or not he's able to learn more pitches, because Craig Kimbrel is a power pitcher. So if he develops a cutter-like pitch or a changeup, something that is just straight filth, Craig Kimbrel might have a shot. Now, one thing that we have to consider is through their first 8 kind of full seasons as a closer, Mariano Rivera had 331 saves, Craig Kimbrel had 332. So through 8 seasons, Mariano Rivera was about the same pitcher as Craig Kimbrel, only he was older when he started to become that dominant. So Craig Kimbrel, is he going to break the record for most career saves? Now again, I am not saying that Kimbrel is better than Rivera. I'm just saying that he does have a chance of breaking the all-time saves record. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Yes, he's going to break it. No, he's not going to break it. So the next record that we're going to be talking about, we're going to transition transition back into a fun record. So this was back in 1901 when Sam Crawford was able to leg out 12 inside the park home runs in a single season. Now, I don't care if you are Ichiro playing in Oracle Park. Well, now it's Oracle Park, but when Ichiro was playing, it was AT&T Park. You guys know, the Giants Park, okay? I don't care if he played their 162 games out of 162. There is never going to be another player that is able to leg out 12 inside the parks in one season. Yeah, Sam Crawford, maybe you're the great-great-great-grandpappy of Brandon Crawford. I don't care. You're not beating that. We're going to talk about 3 more records that you guys should be familiar with, and then we're going to end the video with a fun one. So the next one is career home runs. I don't think Barry Bonds, actually, we could talk about 2 records from Barry Bonds in the same breath. Barry Bonds with his 762 home runs, I believe that's the final record that he ended on, and also the fact that he hit 73 home runs in a single season. So whether it's the single season home run record or the career total for home runs, I think Barry Bonds is safe for the rest of history. The only other player that I can even fathom breaking both of those records is a man named Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is a man amongst boys. He's big, he's strong, he can hit the ball almost farther than anyone aside from his own teammate Aaron Judge. So if Giancarlo Stanton is able to stay healthy for a full 162, maybe even 155 plus games at Yankee Stadium, play like his MVP self back in Miami, Giancarlo Stanton might be able to hit 65 to 70 home runs. I'm not saying it's going to happen. That's just my prediction. If anyone else is going to do it, I don't see Joey Gallo being able to hit 73 home runs. I don't see Aaron Judge. I don't see any other power hitter being able to do what Giancarlo Stanton can do for a single season and the course of his career. So will he be able to do it? Both the career home run record and the single season home run record, in my opinion, I don't think anyone's ever going to touch that. But if there is one player, my guy is Giancarlo Stanton. The next guy that I think might be able to beat the home run total is Mike Trout, but that's just me. Nolan Ryan has 5,714 career strikeouts. Not only was Nolan Ryan filthy, but he was able to stay healthy for the majority of his career. I mean, the guy was just straight filthy. He could throw a baseball through a brick wall. He threw that hard. He had a pretty good curveball. Now, I don't think anyone is ever going to beat this 5,714. I don't care if you're Chris Sale. I don't care if you're Clayton Kershaw. I don't care what you are or who you are. I think this record is pretty safe. And yeah, there's no beating 5,700 strikeouts. My gosh. I cannot believe that this record is actually a thing. So in 1988, between August 30th and September 28th, Orel Hershiser threw a record 59 consecutive scoreless innings. How do you do that? So Orel Hershiser is a starting pitcher. He threw 9, 18, 27, 30, I don't know math. Orel Hershiser almost threw 7 consecutive games without giving up a single run. So he went 6, and then he had a couple runs in the 7th game. But oh my gosh, how do you do that? 59 straight scoreless innings? That's ridiculous. I think if anyone's going to beat that in today's game, it's probably going to come from the hands of, I don't know, Corey Kluber or Jacob deGrom, someone that can just dial in and shut you out, because Corey Kluber, when he's on top of his game, there's no touching his curveball. When Jacob deGrom is on top, there's no touching his fastball, slider, whatever he can throw. Jacob deGrom is filthy. But, I mean, I think at this point, again, just like all the records that we've talked about before, I think that Orel Hershiser is pretty safe in baseball history. All right, guys, so the final record that we're going to bring up is only coming about because his son, Fernando Tatis Jr., is killing it right now for the San Diego Padres in their spring training system. So Fernando Tatis, the senior, the dad of Fernando Tatis Jr., that makes sense, he once was able to hit 2 grand slams in one game. But not only was he able to hit 2 grand slams in a single game, he did it in the same inning. Fernando Tatis had a 2 home run, 2 grand slam, 8 RBI inning. What? So guys, I'm going to wrap it up right there. There's a ton of other unbreakable records that we could talk about. So if you guys want me to make a part 2, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what your opinions are on all the different topics that we talked about. Is Giancarlo Stanton going to beat the home run record? Is Craig Kimbrell going to be able to get more than 600 and something saves? Whatever Rivera had, is that going to be possible? Is Mike Trout going to hold all of these records? I mean, at this point, Mike Trout is so good, he could probably get the saves record too. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you guys did enjoy. Make sure you slap a like on this video if you did. Subscribe for more baseball content, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.